Dr. Anna Brooks pressed her face against the observation window as their shuttle approached Gateway 7. The massive structure rotated slowly against the star field, its multiple rings housing delegates from dozens of worlds. She had dreamed of this moment since childhood. Humanity's first formal invitation to join the Galactic Scientific Union. The docking bay hummed with activity, as beings of various shapes and sizes moved about their business. Anna adjusted her research tablet and followed Ambassador Williams through the airlock. Their destination was Conference Hall 12, where they would meet the Althari delegation. The Althari were known throughout the galaxy for their extreme caution. Every decision took them weeks to make. Every risk was calculated 3 times, and they approached new situations with scientific precision that bordered on paranoia. Anna had read their cultural files extensively, preparing for what might be a very slow and careful first meeting. Ambassador Williams guided her through corridors lined with environmental controls for different atmospheric requirements. They passed a section where methane-breathing Korgans conducted business behind sealed barriers, then moved through an area where aquatic nerids swam in specialized tubes filled with their home ocean water. "Remember, Dr. Brooks," Williams said quietly, "the Althari value patience above all else. Let them set the pace. They've agreed to this cultural exchange because they're interested in our biological research, but they'll want to proceed very carefully." Anna nodded, though her scientific curiosity was already racing. She had brought samples of Earth flora and fauna that she hoped would interest the Althari, particularly some of the more unusual plants that thrived in Earth's diverse ecosystems. Conference Hall 12 was a circular room with adjustable gravity and atmosphere controls. The Althari delegation was already present, 3 tall beings with crystalline skin that reflected the room's soft lighting in prismatic patterns. Their leader, Ambassador Kale, stood nearly 8 feet tall with intricate mineral formations growing from his shoulders like natural epaulets. "Welcome, humans." Kale spoke through a translation device that gave his words a musical quality. "We are honored by your presence at Gateway 7. The formal greetings took nearly an hour. Each Althari delegate introduced themselves with their full scientific credentials, research specializations, and 3 generations of family lineage. Anna found herself fascinated by their methodical approach to even simple social interactions. When the pleasantries concluded, Ambassador Kale gestured to a display table that had been prepared. "As is our custom, we wish to share gifts from our homeworld. These specimens represent the biodiversity of Althari Prime." Anna's eyes widened as she examined the collection. Strange crystalline formations that might have been minerals or living organisms lined one section. Flowing liquid samples contained what appeared to be microscopic life forms, but what caught her attention immediately was a selection of fruit-like objects arranged in careful rows. "These are nutritional samples from our world," Kyle explained, his tone growing more serious. "However, I must emphasize extreme caution. Each of these specimens carries specific warnings for interspecies safety." He picked up what looked like a perfectly ordinary apple, except for its deep blue coloration. "This contains compounds that induce temporary paralysis in 17 known species. Recovery time is typically 4 to 6 hours. Anna leaned forward, her scientific interest overriding diplomatic protocol. "What type of compounds? Are they alkaloid-based or protein toxins?" Kale's crystalline features shifted in what might have been surprise. "The toxins are..." "You wish to know their composition?" "Absolutely," Anna said, pulling out her tablet. "This is fascinating. What about that one?" She pointed to an orange-colored fruit with unusual striping patterns. "That specimen causes severe hallucinations and memory loss," Kyle said slowly. "Most species require medical intervention to survive exposure." Ambassador Williams shot Anna a warning look, but she was already making notes. "Memory loss suggests it affects neural chemistry directly. Do you have data on the specific neurotransmitters involved?" The 3 Althari exchanged what Anna assumed were concerned glances, though their alien expressions were difficult to read. Kale continued his presentation with growing unease as Anna asked increasingly detailed questions about each toxic specimen. Then Kale lifted a beautiful crimson fruit that seemed to glow with its own inner light. The moment he touched it, all 3 Althari stepped back slightly. "This is what we call the death bloom," Kale said, his translated voice dropping to barely above a whisper. "It is the most dangerous biological specimen on our homeworld. The concentrated toxins in this fruit will kill most known species within minutes of consumption. Even handling it requires protective equipment. Anna's face lit up with pure scientific excitement. Death Bloom! What an incredible name. Can you tell me about the toxin concentration? Is it a cumulative poison? Or does it cause immediate systemic failure? The three Althari stared at her in what she was beginning to recognize as shock. Kale carefully placed the death bloom back on its protective platform. Dr. Brooks, he said slowly, I believe there may be a translation error. This fruit is lethal. It causes death. Permanent biological termination. Oh, I understand completely, Anna said, moving closer to examine the specimen. I'm just fascinated by the biochemistry. How do the toxins work? Do they attack the nervous system, the cardiovascular system, or is it more of a cellular breakdown process? Ambassador Williams stepped forward. Dr. Brooks, perhaps we should... Could I possibly get a sample for analysis? Anna interrupted, her enthusiasm growing. Just a small piece would be sufficient for spectral analysis and compound identification. And if you have any other fruits that are even more dangerous, I'd love to examine those as well. The silence in the room stretched uncomfortably long. The three Althari communicated among themselves in rapid musical tones that their translation devices didn't process. Finally, Kale turned back to the humans. Dr. Brooks, he said carefully, in all our records of interspecies contact, no being has ever requested samples of the death bloom. Most species flee when they learn of its existence. Anna smiled brightly. Well, that's because most species probably don't have Earth's biodiversity to compare it to. We have some really interesting toxic plants back home too. I'd love to do a comparative study. As they prepared to leave the conference hall, Anna could hear the Althari delegation discussing her request in urgent, worried tones. She made a mental note to prepare a proper research proposal. This was going to be the most exciting scientific opportunity of her career. The laboratory aboard the research vessel Pioneer buzzed with activity 3 days after the meeting with the Althari. Dr. Ray Cole looked up from his spectroscopy equipment as Anna entered carrying a sealed containment unit. Tell me you didn't actually convince them to give you samples of their poison fruit, Ray said, though his grin suggested he already knew the answer. Anna set the container on the central analysis table with obvious excitement. Not only did they give me death bloom samples, but they included detailed molecular breakdowns of 12 other toxic specimens. Apparently, they're so worried about interspecies poisoning incidents that they maintain extensive databases on every dangerous substance they've ever encountered. Ray activated the laboratories, enhanced safety protocols, atmospheric scrubbers hummed to life, and containment fields flickered around their workstations. All right, but we're taking this slowly. If this stuff really kills most species in minutes, I'd prefer not to become the first human casualties of diplomatic fruit tasting. The death bloom sample was barely the size of Anna's thumbnail, but even through the containment field, its crimson glow was mesmerizing. Anna began the analysis with standard chemical breakdown procedures, feeding data to the ship's computer for comparison with known Earth compounds. This is remarkable, Anna said, studying the readouts. Look at these alkaloid structures. They're similar to compounds we find in Earth plants, but the concentration levels are incredible. Ray leaned over her shoulder to examine the data. These molecular chains look familiar. Isn't this structure similar to what we see in foxglove? And this one resembles compounds from castor beans. Anna nodded enthusiastically. Exactly. But concentrated to levels that would be impossible in Earth plants. It's like evolution on Althari Prime, found a way to pack multiple toxic compounds into a single fruit. Their computer finished running comparisons with Earth's botanical database. The results made both scientists pause. While the individual compounds were indeed lethal at these concentrations, humans had been exposed to similar toxins for millennia through various Earth plants. Ray, look at this, Anna said, pulling up historical data. Humans have been using small amounts of these same compound families for medicine. Digitalis from foxglove for heart conditions, ricin research for cancer treatment. Our bodies have evolved mechanisms to process these toxins. A communication alert interrupted their analysis. Ambassador Kale's face appeared on their main screen, his crystalline features somehow managing to convey deep concern. Dr. Brooks, I must express grave alarm about your research activities, Kale said without preamble. Our monitoring stations have detected that you are actively analyzing death bloom samples aboard your vessel. Anna looked up from her work, Yes, Ambassador Kale. The preliminary results are fascinating. We've identified 17 distinct toxic compounds, and I'm developing theories about their evolutionary development on your homeworld. Kale's translation device made several discordant notes before functioning properly again. Dr. Brooks, perhaps I have failed to adequately communicate the danger. The death bloom has been responsible for the complete elimination of 3 separate expedition forces in our history. Entire crews died from accidental exposure to amounts smaller than what you are currently handling. That's terrible, Anna said sympathetically. But the molecular analysis suggests that the toxins work by overwhelming cellular respiratory processes. With proper preparation and gradual exposure, it might be possible to build tolerance, or even find beneficial applications for controlled doses. The silence from Kale's end of the transmission stretched uncomfortably long. Dr. Brooks, he finally said, are you suggesting that humans might be able to survive consumption of death bloom? I'm not suggesting anything yet, Anna replied carefully. But the data indicates that human physiology might be uniquely suited to processing these particular compounds. We have extensive detoxification systems that evolved in response to Earth's diverse plant toxins. Ray was running additional calculations on his workstation. Anna, you need to see this. I've been modeling the toxin's effect on human metabolism, based on our known resistance to similar compounds. The computer predicts that while it would certainly be unpleasant, a human might survive consumption of small amounts. Anna's excitement was barely contained. Can you model therapeutic applications? If we're right about human tolerance, these compounds could have incredible medical potential. Their conversation was interrupted by another incoming transmission. This one was from Captain Morris of the diplomatic vessel Harmony. Dr. Brooks, we're receiving some very concerned communications from multiple alien delegations at Gateway 7. Apparently, word has spread that humans are experimenting with substances that are considered weapons of mass destruction by most species. Anna exchanged glances with Ray. Captain, we're conducting legitimate scientific research under proper safety protocols. I understand that, Doctor, but the Velkan Empire has just transmitted an offer to provide samples of their liquid fire peppers, which they claim can melt through starship hulls. The Nereids want to send you samples of their singing kelp, which apparently drives most species into homicidal rage. Half the species at Gateway 7 are either terrified of humans now, or they're curious to see what else we can survive. Ray looked at the growing queue of incoming sample requests on his secondary screen. Anna, I think we may have started something bigger than we expected. Anna studied the molecular models rotating on her display. The death bloom's toxic compounds were indeed dangerous, but they were also incredibly complex and potentially useful. Earth's history was full of plants that were poisonous in large doses but medicinal in small ones. Ray, what if we developed a controlled testing protocol? Start with molecular amounts, monitor every biological response, and gradually increase exposure. That would be incredibly dangerous, Ray said slowly, but theoretically possible. Our medical scanners could track cellular responses in real time, and we have emergency treatment protocols for most known toxins. Ambassador Kale's image was still on their communication screen, and Anna realized he had been listening to their entire conversation. Humans, Kale said slowly. In all my years of diplomatic service, I have never encountered a species that responded to warnings of lethal toxins by developing consumption strategies. Anna smiled at the screen. Ambassador, what you call lethal toxins we might call undiscovered medicine. Earth taught us that the difference between poison and cure is often just a matter of dosage and application. As their shift ended, Anna and Ray looked at the growing collection of deadly alien specimens that were being offered by species throughout the galaxy. Each one represented a challenge that no other species had dared to face. You know, Ray said thoughtfully, this might be humanity's first real niche in galactic society. Everyone else is afraid of these things, but we might be the only species crazy enough and tough enough to study them safely. Anna was already planning their next set of experiments. Tomorrow we start with microscopic doses. If we're right about human resilience, we might be about to change how the galaxy thinks about biological hazards. Anna strapped herself into the medical monitoring chair while Ray double-checked the emergency protocols for the 15th time. 2 weeks of careful preparation had led to this moment, the first attempted human consumption of death bloom extract. Vital signs are stable, Ray announced, studying the array of sensors attached to Anna's body. Blood chemistry baseline established, neural activity normal, and the emergency medical pod is standing by. Dr. Lisa Ward, their chief medical officer, monitored the proceedings from the adjacent room through reinforced glass. Anna, remember, at the first sign of adverse reaction, we're aborting immediately. The molecular dose you're taking is 1,000th of what the Althari consider lethal to most species. Anna held the tiny vial containing a single drop of diluted death bloom extract. The liquid was so concentrated that this microscopic amount represented weeks of careful preparation and purification. All scanners are recording. Beginning consumption now. She placed the drop on her tongue and swallowed. For the first 30 seconds, nothing happened. Anna's vital signs remained stable, while Ray monitored her cellular activity on molecular scanners. Then she felt a strange tingling sensation starting in her stomach. Interesting, Anna said, noting her observations. Mild warmth spreading through my digestive system. No pain or distress. Actually, it's rather pleasant. Ray frowned at his readouts. Anna, your serotonin levels are increasing. Dopamine production is up 17%. This is acting like a mild mood enhancer. Minutes passed. The Althari toxin that allegedly killed most species in minutes was instead making Anna feel remarkably good. Her mind felt clearer, her thoughts more focused. When Lisa ran cognitive tests through the medical bay's computer interface, Anna's problem-solving speed had improved by 23%. This is impossible, Ray muttered, checking and rechecking his equipment. According to everything the Althari told us, you should be experiencing system failure by now. Anna smiled, feeling better than she had in weeks. Maybe the problem is that nobody ever tried to survive it before. Every other species panics at the first sign of toxicity. But humans have spent thousands of years building tolerance to natural poisons through gradual exposure. 3 hours later, Anna was not only alive but felt fantastic. The death bloom extract had metabolized into compounds that appeared to boost cognitive function and emotional well-being. Ray's analysis showed that human liver
enzymes were breaking down the alien toxins into harmless
byproducts more efficiently than their computer models had predicted. Word of Anna's successful. Survival spread through Gateway 7 within hours. Ambassador Kale requested an emergency meeting, his usual careful demeanor replaced by what appeared to be shock. Dr. Brooks, our scientific council has reviewed your biological data, Kale said over the communication link. What you have accomplished should be impossible. The death bloom has ended the lives of countless beings throughout galactic history. Anna was still feeling the positive effects of the extract. Ambassador, I think the issue is that no species has ever approached this systematically. You've all treated these substances as absolute dangers instead of studying their potential benefits. Before Kyle could respond, another communication request came through. Captain Doran of the Velkin military vessel Thunderstrike appeared on screen, his reptilian features arranged in what Anna was learning to recognize as curiosity. Human scientist, Doran said in heavily accented Universal, we have monitored your impossible survival. The Velkin Empire wishes to present you with samples of liquid fire peppers. These weapons have ended sieges by making enemy food supplies untouchable. Anna's scientific excitement overrode any sense of self-preservation. Captain Doran, I would be fascinated to analyze your liquid fire peppers. Do you have any data on the specific compounds that make them so dangerous? Ray stared at her in disbelief. Anna, you just survived consuming what amounts to alien poison, and now you want to try eating peppers that can melt metal. Think about it scientifically, Ray, Anna said, her enhanced cognitive function making connections at remarkable speed. Earth has incredibly hot peppers, too. Humans eat Carolina Reapers and ghost peppers for fun. We might be the only species in the galaxy with both the cultural background and biological tolerance to handle extreme spice levels. Within the next day, requests came flooding in from species throughout the galaxy. The aquatic nereids offered their singing kelp, which caused violent aggression in most species but might have different effects on human brain chemistry. The crystalline hegemony wanted to test whether humans could survive their mineral fruits that caused cellular calcification. Even the mysterious void traders sent samples of their shadow berries, which allegedly erased memories and personality. Anna established what she called the tasting protocol, a systematic approach to testing alien substances that other species considered deadly. Each test began with molecular analysis, followed by cellular exposure studies, then gradually increasing doses while monitoring every biological response. The liquid fire peppers arrived from the Velkin Empire in a containment unit that required 3 separate cooling systems to prevent hull damage. Captain Doran's accompanying message warned that exposure to even tiny amounts had historically caused immediate tissue destruction in every known species. The heat signature on these things is incredible, Ray said, studying the scanner readings. The capsaicin analogs are concentrated to levels that would register as chemical weapons by Earth standards. Anna prepared a dilution that reduced the pepper's potency to what she estimated might be survivable. The preparation process required environmental suits and remote handling equipment, but her excitement never wavered. Beginning liquid fire pepper trial, Anna announced to the monitoring stations. Several alien delegations had requested to observe the test, and Anna could see dozens of concerned faces watching through the communication links. She consumed the microscopic amount of pepper extract and immediately understood why other species considered it a weapon. The heat was unlike anything she had ever experienced, more intense than any earth pepper, spreading through her system like liquid metal. But unlike other species, Anna's human physiology had evolved specifically to handle extreme capsaicin exposure. "Burns like nothing I've ever felt," Anna gasped, but managed to continue speaking. "But it's definitely survivable. Actually, it's kind of exhilarating." 20 minutes later, as the heat subsided, Anna discovered that the Velkin peppers had triggered massive endorphin production. She felt energetic, alert, and remarkably pain-free. "Ray, run a full immune system analysis," Anna said, feeling better than ever. "I think these peppers might be boosting human immune response." The test results confirmed her hypothesis. The liquid fire peppers, while excruciating to consume, appeared to supercharge human immune function and pain tolerance. What the Valkans considered a weapon, humans might be able to use as medicine. As word spread of Anna's second impossible survival, she received a message from the Galactic Scientific Union, requesting a formal presentation on human biological resilience. Species that had spent millennia fearing these substances were suddenly interested in learning how humans could not only survive them, but potentially benefit from them. "Anna," Ray said, looking at the growing list of deadly substances that alien species wanted to test on humans, "I think we accidentally just defined humanity's role in galactic society." Anna studied the requests from dozens of species, each offering their most dangerous biological specimens for human testing. "Ray, I think we're about to become the galaxy's professional poison testers. And honestly, I can't think of anything more exciting." Dr. Ray Cole stared at the data streaming across his screens with growing amazement. 3 weeks of testing alien poisons had revealed something extraordinary about human biology that even Earth scientists had never fully understood. "Anna, you need to see this," Ray called across the laboratory. "I've been running evolutionary models based on our test results, and the computer has identified why humans can survive these alien toxins." Anna looked up from her latest experiment, a sample of Nereid singing kelp that had been soaking in a neutralization solution for hours. "What did you find?" Ray pulled up a holographic display showing Earth's evolutionary timeline. "It's all about environmental pressure. Earth isn't just a normal planet. By galactic standards, Earth is what xenobiologists classify as a death world." The hologram showed Earth's history of extinction events, climate changes, and biological arms races between predators and prey. "Look at this data. Earth has experienced more mass extinction events than most worlds ever face. Ice ages, asteroid impacts, volcanic periods, dramatic atmospheric changes. Life on Earth has been under constant survival pressure for billions of years." Anna walked over to examine the display more closely. "So human evolution was shaped by constant exposure to danger?" "Not just danger, biological warfare," Ray said, highlighting specific time periods. "Plants and animals on Earth have been locked in chemical arms races for millions of years. Plants developed toxins to avoid being eaten. Animals developed resistance to survive eating the plants. Plants developed stronger toxins, and the cycle continued." The hologram zoomed in on human evolutionary development. "Humans didn't just survive this process, we thrived in it. Our ancestors ate everything they could find, including plants that would kill most creatures. We developed incredibly sophisticated detoxification systems, immune responses, and metabolic pathways." Anna studied the genetic markers highlighting human adaptations. "You're saying that what makes these alien substances deadly to other species is exactly what human evolution prepared us to handle?" "Exactly. Ray said, pulling up comparison charts. Most galactic species evolved on stable worlds with predictable environments. They never faced the constant biological pressure that shaped human development. Their detoxification systems are simple because they never needed complexity. A communication alert interrupted their discussion. Dr. Helen Morrison from Earth's Xenobiology Institute appeared on screen, her face showing excitement mixed with concern. Dr. Brooks, Dr. Cole, we've been monitoring your reports from Earth. The implications of your discoveries are staggering, Dr. Morrison said. We've run your data through our planetary evolution databases, and the results confirm something we've suspected for decades. What kind of results? Anna asked. Earth's classification in galactic databases. We always wondered why other species seem to avoid extended visits to Earth's surface. Now we know, by their standards, Earth is one of the most biologically dangerous planets in known space. Ray shared his evolutionary timeline with Dr. Morrison. We've identified over 200 separate toxic compound families that humans regularly consume in normal Earth foods. Coffee, chocolate, alcohol, spices, vegetables. Almost everything in a typical human diet contains substances that would be toxic to other galactic species. Dr. Morrison nodded grimly. That explains why the Althari embassy on Earth requires extensive atmospheric filtering, and why they only eat specially prepared synthetic foods. What you're calling alien poisons are probably no worse than what humans eat for breakfast. Anna thought about the implications. So when Ambassador Kale warned me about the death bloom being lethal, he was applying standards based on species that never had to evolve defenses against complex toxins. More than that, Ray said, pulling up cellular analysis data. Human cells actually use controlled toxin exposure to maintain health. Exercise creates cellular stress that strengthens muscles. Moderate alcohol consumption can benefit cardiovascular health. Many human medicines work by introducing controlled damage that triggers beneficial biological responses. Dr. Morrison shared additional data from Earth. We've been testing some of the alien substances you've analyzed against Earth organisms. Anna, the death bloom compounds are chemically similar to substances found in common Earth mushrooms. The Velkin liquid fire peppers are comparable to Earth's hottest varieties, just more concentrated. Anna felt pieces clicking together in her mind. Which means humans aren't surviving alien poisons, we're eating familiar compounds that happen to be concentrated, beyond what other species can handle. Their discussion was interrupted by an incoming message from the Nereid deep-sea colony. The aquatic beings had been monitoring human testing of their singing kelp with growing fascination. Surface dwellers, the Nereid representative communicated. Through their water-filled communication chamber, we have observed impossible results from your consumption trials. The singing kelp induces territorial madness in all tested species, yet you report enhanced creativity and emotional stability. Anna looked at the processed kelp sample she had been preparing. The molecular structure suggests compounds similar to what we find in certain Earth seaweeds. Humans have been eating seaweed for thousands of years. Ray was running new calculations. Anna, if our theory is correct, humans might be the only species in the galaxy capable of safely processing most of these substances. We're not just immune to alien poisons. We're potentially the only species that can study them safely. The implications were staggering. Throughout galactic history, these biological substances had been treated as absolute hazards. Entire research projects had been abandoned because no species could safely handle the materials. Wars had been fought over access to substances that could be weaponized against enemy species. We need to run more comprehensive tests, Anna said, looking at the growing collection of alien specimens. If humans can safely process these substances, we might be able to develop medical applications, research tools, even diplomatic solutions to conflicts that have lasted centuries. Dr. Morrison's expression was serious. Anna, you realize what this means for humanity's place in galactic society? If you're right about human biological advantages, Earth might be the only planet capable of producing scientists who can handle this kind of research. Ray was already planning extended research protocols. We should establish a proper research facility, somewhere with better safety equipment and more comprehensive medical monitoring. If we're going to become the galaxy's experts on dangerous biology, we need to do it right. Anna studied the evolutionary timeline still glowing on their holographic display. Billions of years of survival pressure had shaped humans into something unique in galactic society. A species tough enough to eat what everyone else considered fatal. You know what's interesting? Anna said thoughtfully. Other species look at Earth's dangerous biology and see a death world to be avoided. But maybe Earth's dangers are exactly what the galaxy needs. Someone tough enough to study the things everyone else is afraid of. Their research had revealed more than just human resistance to alien toxins. It had identified humanity's potential role as the galaxy's biological specialists, the species brave enough and tough enough to explore scientific frontiers that others couldn't approach. As Anna prepared for her next round of testing, she realized they were no longer just studying alien poisons. They were discovering humanity's unique place in a galaxy full of species that had never faced the biological challenges that made humans resilient. Tomorrow, we test the hegemony crystal fruits, Anna said, reviewing the next day's schedule. If our theory is right, humans might be the first species ever to survive cellular crystallization. Ray smiled as he updated their research logs. Anna, I think we're about to rewrite everything the galaxy knows about dangerous biology. The emergency session of the Galactic Council convened 3 days after Anna successfully consumed crystalline fruit from the hegemony worlds. Ambassador Williams sat in the human delegation section, watching as species after species voiced their concerns about humanity's dangerous biological experiments. The humans represent an unprecedented threat to galactic stability, declared Council Speaker Vorth of the Hegron Collective, his multiple eyes focused on the human delegation with obvious suspicion. Any species capable of consuming substances that constitute weapons of mass destruction cannot be trusted in civilized society. Ambassador Williams stood to address the assembly. Council Speaker, humanity's research has been conducted under strict scientific protocols with full transparency. We've shared all our findings with the galactic scientific community. Transparency does not diminish danger, responded Ambassador Kale. Though his tone was more concerned than accusatory, the Althari have reviewed human biological data extensively. Your species possesses resistance capabilities that effectively make you immune to most biological warfare agents known to galactic civilization. In the medical bay aboard the Pioneer, Anna was conducting her latest experiment while watching the council proceedings on a secondary screen. The hegemony crystal fruit had been her most challenging test yet, consuming substances that caused gradual cellular crystallization in other species. After 6 hours, she was experiencing mild joint stiffness but no serious adverse effects. Ray, are you seeing this political mess? Anna asked, stretching carefully to work out the crystal-induced stiffness. Ray looked up from his monitoring equipment. Half the galaxy wants to quarantine us and the other half wants to hire us as biological weapons specialists. I'm not sure which option is worse. On the council broadcast, Representative Doran of the Velkan Empire was speaking. The Velkan position is clear. Humans have demonstrated military capabilities that exceed any known biological defenses. Their resistance to liquid fire peppers alone makes them potentially immune to our primary military deterrent. Ambassador Williams responded calmly. Representative Doran, human resistance to these substances has been developed for scientific research, not military applications. Dr. Brooks and her team are working to find medical and diplomatic applications for materials that have been considered too dangerous to study. Hannah muted the council, broadcast and contacted Ambassador Williams directly. Ambassador, I have an idea that might help with these political tensions. Williams appeared on her communication screen, looking tired from hours of diplomatic maneuvering. Dr. Brooks, unless you can prove that humans aren't a threat to galactic security, I'm not sure we're going to be welcome at Gateway 7 much longer. What if I could prove exactly the opposite? Anna said. What if we hosted a demonstration showing that human biological resistance makes us better allies, not more dangerous enemies? Williams looked intrigued but cautious. What kind of demonstration? Anna gestured to the collection of alien specimens in her laboratory. A diplomatic dinner. We invite representatives from every concerned species to watch humans consume their most dangerous substances. But instead of treating it as a threat display, we frame it as a peace offering. Ray overheard the conversation and shook his head. Anna, you want to host a dinner party where you eat poison in front of worried alien diplomats? That sounds like the worst diplomatic strategy in history. Think about it differently. Anna said, her excitement building. Every species is afraid because they think human resistance makes us dangerous. But what if we show them that we're choosing to use our abilities for cooperation rather than conquest? Williams considered the proposal. How would consuming alien toxins demonstrate peaceful intentions? Anna pulled up data from their recent experiments. Each substance we've tested has revealed potential medical or scientific applications. The death bloom compounds are showing promise as treatments for human depression. Velkin peppers boost immune function. Nerid kelp enhances creativity and problem solving. We're not stockpiling weapons. We're developing medicine. Plus, Ray added, warming to the idea, if humans can safely study these substances, we can help other species understand them better. We become the galaxy's specialists in dangerous biology. But for defensive and medical purposes. Williams looked thoughtful. A demonstration of human biological capabilities used for peaceful purposes. It's unconventional, but it might work. Let me propose this to the Council. 2 days later, Gateway 7's main diplomatic dining hall had been configured for the most unusual dinner party in galactic history. Representatives from dozens of species watched nervously as Anna prepared to consume samples from substances that each of their worlds considered absolutely lethal. Ambassador Kale sat at the Althari table, his crystalline features reflecting the room's lighting in anxious patterns. Dr. Brooks, I must again emphasize that even observers have been evacuated from our homeworld when death bloom samples were being transported. What you are attempting remains incomprehensible to Althari science. Anna smiled and held up a small vial containing death bloom extract. Ambassador Kale, I understand your concern. But what I'm demonstrating today is trust. I'm willing to consume substances that you consider deadly because I trust our scientific analysis. And because I want to show that humans use our biological advantages for cooperation, not intimidation. She consumed the death bloom extract while dozens of alien observers watched in fascination and horror. As the familiar mood-enhancing effects began, Anna continued her presentation. Within an hour, the compounds in this extract will be processed into harmless byproducts by human liver enzymes. But during that processing, human brain chemistry experiences enhanced serotonin and dopamine production. What's deadly to other species might become a treatment for human mental health conditions. Next came the Velkin liquid fire peppers. Anna had prepared a concentration that would send most humans to the hospital, but her months of careful tolerance building allowed her to consume it with only moderate discomfort. The capsaicin analogs in Velkin peppers trigger massive endorphin production in humans, Anna explained as sweat beaded on her forehead from the intense heat. This could lead to new pain management therapies or treatments for autoimmune conditions. Representative Doran leaned forward with obvious interest. Human, you suggest that our war peppers could be medicine? That's exactly what I'm suggesting, Anna said, feeling the endorphin rush beginning. Humans have a long history of using spicy foods for health benefits. Your peppers might be concentrated enough to treat conditions that current medicine can't touch. The demonstration continued through 6 different substances, each one representing a potential breakthrough in medical research rather than a military threat. Anna consumed Nereid singing kelp and demonstrated enhanced problem-solving abilities. She ate crystalline hegemony fruit and showed how controlled cellular changes might lead to treatments for degenerative diseases. The key point, Anna addressed the assembled diplomats, is that human biological resistance gives us the ability to study dangerous substances safely. Instead of making us a threat, this makes us the galaxy's best hope for understanding and neutralizing biological hazards. Ambassador Williams stood to address the gathering. Honorable delegates, what you've witnessed today demonstrates humanity's commitment to using our unique biology for the benefit of all galactic species. We propose the establishment of a joint research facility where humans can safely study dangerous biological materials under international oversight. Council Speaker Vorth had been silent throughout the demonstration, but now he spoke carefully. The Hegran Collective acknowledges that human biological capabilities, while unprecedented, appear to be directed toward scientific rather than military applications. Ambassador Kyle added his support. The Althari would be interested in collaborative research opportunities. If humans can safely study substances that have been too dangerous for other species to approach, this represents extraordinary scientific potential. As the dinner concluded, Anna realized that what had started as a simple scientific curiosity had evolved into humanity's defining role in galactic society. Instead of being feared for their biological toughness, humans were being recognized as uniquely qualified to explore scientific frontiers that others couldn't approach. "You know," Ray said quietly as they cleaned up after the demonstration, "I think we just solved the problem of what humans bring to galactic civilization." Anna nodded, feeling the combined effects of multiple alien substances creating a complex but pleasant sensation of alertness and well-being. "We're not the smartest species or the most advanced technologically, but we might be the only ones tough enough to eat the universe's most dangerous biology and turn it into medicine." The political crisis was far from over, but Anna had successfully reframed the discussion. Human biological resistance wasn't a military threat. It was a scientific opportunity that could benefit every species in the galaxy. 1 year after the diplomatic dinner that changed everything, Anna stood in the central laboratory of the Human Biological Research Consortium, watching teams of scientists from 30 different species working together on projects that had been impossible before human involvement. The facility orbited Earth's moon, positioned to take advantage of both human expertise and the planet's extensive biodiversity. Through the main observation windows, Anna could see the blue marble of Earth below, its dangerous beauty now recognized throughout the galaxy as the source of unprecedented biological resilience. "Dr. Brooks, the Althari delegation has arrived for the annual safety review," announced Dr. Ray Cole, who had been promoted to Director of Cross-Species Research. His voice carried satisfaction at how far their small poison-tasting experiments had evolved. Anna made her way to Conference Room Alpha, where Ambassador Kale waited with a team of Althari scientists. The crystalline being's demeanor had changed dramatically over the past year. Where once there had been fear and concern, now there was scientific excitement and genuine friendship. "Anna," Kale said, using her first name as had become their custom, "the Althari Science Council has completed their evaluation of the consortium's safety protocols. We are pleased to formally approve the expansion of research into Class Omega biological materials." Class Omega substances were materials so dangerous that most species had banned even studying them. Anna felt a familiar thrill of scientific curiosity. "What kind of materials are we talking about, Kale?" "Specimens from the Void Walkers," Kyle replied, his translation device conveying excitement despite the serious subject matter. "Shadow berries that erase memory, temporal fruits that allegedly affect the perception of time, and consciousness moss that separates the mind from the body." Anna's eyes lit up. After a year of successfully processing dozens of alien substances, she had learned to see deadly warnings as intriguing research opportunities. "Have there been any preliminary studies on the molecular structures?" Dr. Sarah Kim, the consortium's newest researcher, joined the conversation. "Dr. Brooks, we've been analyzing the Voidwalker samples for 3 months. The molecular complexity is unlike anything we've encountered, but the computer models suggest they operate on principles similar to Earth psychoactive compounds." The consortium had grown from Anna's small laboratory into a joint research facility employing scientists from across the galaxy. What had started as human curiosity about alien poisons had evolved into the premier center for dangerous biological research in known space. Representative Doran of the Velkan Empire appeared on the main communication screen. "Human scientists, the Velkan High Command has approved the Joint Military Medical Project. Our war peppers, combined with human processing techniques, have shown remarkable success in treating shell shock among our veterans." Anna smiled at the irony. Substances designed as weapons were becoming healing tools through human biological intervention. Representative Doran, "Dr. Kim has developed a new preparation method that increases the therapeutic effects while reducing the intensity of consumption. We should see even better results in the next trial phase." The success stories kept multiplying. Narrated singing kelp, processed through human-developed techniques, was being used to treat depression across multiple species. Hegemony crystal fruits were being refined into treatments for bone density problems. Even the notorious death bloom had been transformed into a widely used mood stabilizer. "Anna, we're receiving a priority communication from the Galactic Scientific Union," Ray announced. "They want to discuss the nomination." Anna had been expecting this call. 3 weeks earlier, the GSU had formally nominated her for the position of Director of Xenobiological Safety, a newly created role that would oversee dangerous biological research throughout galactic space. Council Director Yastov. The GSU appeared on the main screen. The ancient being's multiple tentacles moved in patterns that Anna had learned indicated deep respect. Dr. Brooks, the Council has unanimously approved your nomination. We believe that human biological capabilities, combined with your scientific expertise, make you uniquely qualified to oversee research that other species cannot safely conduct. Anna felt humbled by the recognition. Director Yost, I accept the position, but I want to emphasize that this work belongs to all species. Humans may be able to process these substances safely, but the applications and benefits should serve everyone. As the formal ceremony concluded, Anna found herself reflecting on the journey. From that first meeting with Ambassador Kale, what had seemed like simple scientific curiosity had evolved into humanity's defining contribution to galactic civilization. Ray joined her at the observation window, both of them looking down at Earth. Do you ever wonder what would have happened if you'd listened to Kale's warnings and stayed away from the death bloom? Anna smiled. Probably nothing. The substances would have remained mysterious and dangerous. Species would have continued to fear them, and some of the galaxy's most promising medical developments would never have happened. A communication alert drew their attention to another incoming message. This one was from the mysterious Void Walkers themselves, the first direct contact they had made with galactic civilization in over 1,000 years. Human scientist Anna Brooks. The transmission began, the voice unlike anything Anna had heard before. We have observed your species' impossible consumption of our sacred substances. We wish to meet the beings who can survive what we created to test the limits of existence. Anna exchanged excited glances with Ray. Set up a meeting protocol. If the Void Walkers want to talk, this could be the most significant first contact in galactic history. As the day shift ended, Anna walked through the consortium's laboratories, observing the collaborative research between species that had once been unable to work together on dangerous materials. Human biological resistance had become the foundation for unprecedented scientific cooperation. In the Althari wing, researchers were developing new techniques for safe substance handling based on human metabolic processes. The Velkin section focused on military medicine, turning weapons into healing tools. The Nereid aquatic labs were exploring the intersection of human and aquatic biology. Anna stopped at her personal laboratory, where a collection of specimens waited for the next day's research. Among them was a small sample of Shadowberry from the Void Walkers, her next challenge in the ongoing exploration of dangerous biology. She picked up a small vial containing processed death bloom extract and smiled at how far they had come. What had once been considered the galaxy's most deadly fruit was now a routine treatment for depression and anxiety among multiple species. As she prepared to leave for the day, Anna received one final message. Ambassador Kale appeared on her personal communication device. Anna, I wanted to express the gratitude of the Althari people. Your work has not only advanced scientific knowledge, but has helped our species overcome fears that have limited our research for millennia. You have shown us that what we considered absolutely dangerous might simply be absolutely misunderstood. Anna looked out at the stars visible through her laboratory window, each one representing worlds with their own unique and potentially dangerous biology. Kyle, we've only just begun. There are thousands of species out there, and each one probably has substances that others consider deadly. Imagine what we could discover if we approached them all with scientific curiosity instead of fear. As Earth rotated slowly below the space station, Anna felt proud of humanity's role in galactic society. They might not be the most technologically advanced species, or the wisest or the most powerful, but they were tough enough to eat the galaxy's most dangerous biology, and curious enough to turn it into medicine. The next morning would bring new challenges, new substances to test and new opportunities to transform galactic fears into scientific breakthroughs. Anna looked forward to every dangerous, delicious moment of it. In the distance, a Void Walker ship approached Gateway 7 for the first time in a millennium. Drawn by reports of humans who could survive their most potent creations, Anna smiled, wondering what impossible substances they would bring, and how human biology would once again surprise the galaxy. The universe was full of dangerous things, and humanity had found their perfect niche as the species brave enough and tough enough to take a bite out of all of them.